shortly start the presentation. But we have some new people. Just to give a slight introduction about MINE. MINE is a project to promote pragmatic understanding of the world in through the knowledge of economics, political sciences, and history, applied philosophy, and things like that, and subjects like that. So the objective here is to bridge the gap between the two extremes that exist in the Muslim community. On one side, we have Islamic knowledge, normative, what the system ought to be, and then on the other side, we have people in the medical world, specializing in their own professions, in their own vocation. So that leaves a gap in understanding the concept and how the world is operating. So mine is trying to bridge that gap by having these presentations, by having weekly posts. Inshallah, in future, we'll have many more venues to promote this kind of understanding in the Muslim community. Inshallah, we will have a brief orientation about the new website that the team has developed. Inshallah, so stay around after the presentation, and then inshallah we can Brother Ashfaq will walk us through the new website. So currently we operate only from Substack as our primary social media platform and as a content management platform. Although we are also on Medium and things like that, but the primary thing is Substack. But now we are slowly moving on to the website because there we will have more interactive features. We will have more individual profiles, quizzes, and all the reading that you have done, and based on that, like give you articles. So far, Alhamdulillah, we have about 100 articles on our Substack, and about close to 100 presentations. So inshallah, this will be moved to the website for more customized experience and for more interactive features. Having said that, inshallah, we'll start our presentation today. Our presenter is Brother Raza Ansari, and the topic for today's presentation is balancing vision and reality, leadership imperative for the digital era. Just to introduce our speaker, Brother Raza Ansari is a Deputy Professor and Lead Solutions Architect for the US Department of Education's multi-cloud hosting program. He brings a deep expertise in mission strategy, cloud transformation and strategy, and technology governance, which connects emerging trends with the leadership lessons. So this topic, inshallah, will be very close to his expertise, and inshallah, we'll hope to benefit from this. Without further ado, Brother Raza, if you can please go ahead.
All right. Someone, can you hear me? Okay. Inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli.
Good, Brother Raza.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. I guess when I try to switch the slide, I think I end up going on mute. But basically, I was saying that to set up today's context, I wanted to start off with a brief situation from early in my career that fundamentally shaped how I thought leadership expectations around technology. So in 2007, just a few years into my IT career, I was in a conference room overlooking downtown Phoenix, Arizona, where business leaders were pressing IT leaders for some answers. The term that the firm relied on to process daily wealth management transaction hadn't really come back online after overnight processing, and the system was supposed to be was expected to be online be available by the start of the next business day, but unfortunately it wasn't. And as a discussion unfolded, the tension in the conference room was pretty obvious. Business leaders were really frustrated, and they were increasingly direct. They were asking the questions, how could the system be unavailable this long? When would it be fixed? And what stood out to me at that moment wasn't really the pressure from the business, but in fact, the response and the demeanor of the IT leader. He was really calm and composed and measured and almost detached. And at that time, that surprised me. But only later did I understand his response. So the system being down for that such an extended time wasn't really an unknown risk. The system was really built on legacy technology, and it used to shut down every evening for end of the day processing and usually finish in time for the next business day. Until that day, it didn't. And that risk had been raised by the IT leader, and the replacement was actually recommended, but the investment was deferred, and the risk was acknowledged and accepted by the business. So sitting in the conference room, I realized something that day that stayed with me ever since. The technology didn't really fail that day. It was really the expectations around it did. The system behaved exactly as it was designed to behave. The business had simply outgrown it without really making the leadership decision to replace it. So now, fast forward from that moment across years, industries, and technologies. The headlines look different, but the pattern remains the same. The math that brought down Wall Street in 2008, 2009, 2022, Southwest crew scheduling system under scrutiny after a meltdown, and more recently, the cloud failed us. And once again, the first instinct is to blame the technology. But just like in that conference room in Phoenix, the uncomfortable truth is this: the uncomfortable truth is this. The real failure usually begins long before the outage, breach, or an incident. They begin with leadership expectations, unrealistic leadership assumptions, deferred decisions, and unrealistic expectations about what technology can and cannot do. And when that expectations outgrow reality, leadership is tested and technology is blamed. And that's what I want to talk about today. It's not the talk today is not about cloud, it's not about cybersecurity, it's not even about AI. It's actually about leadership accountability in an era of powerful and inherently imperfect technology. So the lesson from that room in Phoenix still applies today. Technology is extraordinary, but it's not magic. And when we treat it as if it is, we create expectations that no system can meet. A few weeks or months ago, a major public cloud provider experienced a disruption that cascaded across industries. Services went down, operations stalled, and customers felt the impact. And analysts called for enterprises to recast cloud reliability expectations, reminding leaders that even the most mature platforms can and will fail at times. Similarly, recent security incidents have shown us that even leading cybersecurity vendors and their products can be breached or actively exploited, reinforcing that security solutions can mitigate risk for us, but they cannot fully eliminate it. And AI systems deliver value unevenly and rarely on expected timelines. And these incidents are more than outages, breaches, and failed projects. These are real leadership moments, an opportunity for us to rethink how we set expectations, how we communicate, and how we lead technology-driven organizations. So our goal here is to recast assumptions around technology. We shouldn't lower our bar, but instead raise our standards with reality. And if we expect perfection, then we'll be disappointed. But if we expect complexity, we'll be prepared. So the real issue isn't that technology failed, it's that our expectations quietly drifted from optimism to perfectionism. Right? Over the past decade, we built a compelling narrative around cloud computing, AI, and AI-driven automation, machine learning, and digital transformation. These technologies are powerful enablers indeed, but they give us scale, speed, insights, and flexibility we could not have imagined 20 years ago. But I feel like somewhere along the lines, we've shifted our narrative from optimism to perfectionism. We started to expect 100% uptime. We assumed automation would replace complexity. We believed that AI would solve our problems. And we convinced ourselves that digital transformation would deliver value instantly, just because the marketing brochures said so. So the challenge here really isn't our ambition, but it's really the loss of leadership discipline, where our expectations are outpacing reality. So corporate leaders today must navigate a fast-moving landscape where hype circulates faster than facts. And that requires a grounded mindset. So as leaders, instead of us guaranteeing perfection, we should guarantee preparedness. This means investing in redundancy, disaster recovery readiness, and clear escalation paths. We should set expectations that reflect reality, not marketing narratives. No systems are 100% reliable. So real resilience comes from preparation and not wishful thinking. So as leaders, we need to be explicit about the limits of what technology can do and cannot do. Right? And realistically, trust is not built by promising perfection, but by communicating uncertainty responsibly. Technology these days is evolving much faster, right? Cloud configurations, AI models, cybersecurity threats, and architectures just change faster than any previous era. So leaders must invest in continuous learning, skill development, and cross-functional fluency to ensure their organizations can adapt. And when leadership gets this balance right, technology becomes an advantage, not a scapegoat. We've already been in a phase for almost like past 2 decades where technology is really defining competitive advantage. But the organizations going forward that will thrive will not be the ones with the most advanced technology or with the most technology, but instead they will be the one with most disciplined leadership. A leadership that balances vision with operational reality, the one that sets expectations that the teams can actually meet, and the one that embraces transparency over unrealistic optimism. The one that builds cultures that can adapt and absorb change, and one that understands reliability is designed, not assumed. So this capability, the ability to see clearly, plan realistically, and communicate responsibly will define the next generation of corporate leaders. I wanted to close with history. I want to leave you with a brief example of what responsible leadership really looks like in practice. One of the most studied leadership examples at Harvard involves Johnson & Johnson, not because they prevented failure, but because leadership set expectations realistically long before disruptions ever occurred. Decades before the talent crisis, Johnson & Johnson established a credo that didn't promise perfection or zero risk. It explicitly acknowledged uncertainty and the need for responsible decision-making when things do go wrong. And that preparation was tested in 1982 when tampered Tylenol capsules caused deaths. The manufacturing system hadn't really failed. The disruption came from an external unforeseen act. Because leadership had already aligned expectations with reality, they didn't hesitate. They recalled products instantly nationwide and prioritized public trust over short-term cost. So the lesson here is simple. When leaders prepare for reality instead of promising perfection, technology doesn't become the scapegoat and leadership becomes the stabilizer. I'll pause here and really see if anyone has any reflections or examples from their own experience. I know this was a short talk, but I wanted to open up for discussions and see if you guys have any comments or if you have a different perspective.
yeah, inshallah, if somebody can have any experiences or questions or reflection. So, yeah, let's bring it up.
So, Assalamu alaikum. This is Adil. So, are you, in a way, saying a preparedness for unexpected events?
I'm sorry, can you repeat
Are
that
you
question?
essentially saying that about the preparedness that you
Right. So I guess as